Well, today I learned that rush is love. Rush is life. All until you get diced. Wow, such inspirational poetry. But today I didn't want to write you a secret love letter, surprisingly. But actually, in this video, I wanted to show you the new and improved Rush, which I know DICE has worked on so much, but here we are on Zava, which I would say is the best stock map for Rush. I believe it's the best experience that you can get if you bought the game without premium. And what may even surprise you more is that if you did buy premium, you probably won't be able to find a server that runs Rush on the other DLC maps except for Second Assault. And I don't believe it would matter because those maps on Rush are pretty horrid. And I don't believe they were even touched. But I'm actually using the AEK suppressed, which I just pretty much classify as the Ghetto AS-Val, because if you think about it, the AS-Val has a 900 RPM, AEK has a 900 RPM, slap a suppressor on the AEK with the Cobra sight, and bam, you have a Ghetto AS-Val. Plus you can use it on the Assault class. You can take the gun out of the Ghetto, but you can't take the Ghetto out of the gun, or something like that. But as of right now, the AEK is one of the better assault rifles because of its ability to keep up in close quarters gunfights with the PDW and the carbines, and it may have a big disadvantage in range because of its fire rate and its recoil, but it's definitely easier to manage now that visual recoil is out of the game. But recons, DMRs, and snipers are going to obliterate it in range, so I wouldn't try to outsnipe a sniper, even with the microbursting that the AEK greatly accelerates at. But speaking of sniper rifles and useless 1v1s, I wanted to talk about advanced warfare and how they're balancing the sniper class. Now you may be asking me, Cry, why are we talking about Call of Duty? After all, it is a call for duty. But I can rest assure you guys that there is a bigger plot to this commentary, like the ending of Twilight, except with a lot less Kristen Stewart. But the guys at Sledgehammer are removing the quickscope from the game. Now I do know the previous developers of Call of Duty, which I believe is Infinity Ward, said they were doing the same thing too. And what happened is it came back, which I find very disappointing. I didn't play much of Ghost, probably played it for a week and never turned the thing back on, and even if someone gave it to me for free, I'll probably try to return it. But this got me thinking about Battlefield and how Battlefield can improve their class system, because I started to think, what is one class that I personally feel is overpowered and has a big advantage over all the other classes? Because in Call of Duty, snipers pretty much excel at close range, medium range, and long range. And speaking of that, why are snipers even in Call of Duty? I mean, like, the most farthest shot you can probably get is like across the map, which is 100 meters. Not sure the logic in that, but I started to think about the Assault class, because the Assault class to me has some of the best weapons, and after the CTA patch is not as much prevalent, but it can still definitely use some work because it has some of the most fastest firing weapons, and the ability to heal yourself pretty much immediately gives it an advantage over all the other classes, because in close range you can just throw out a med pack, re-heal to 100, and be out the way within seconds. But then I thought about bringing over the med pack to another class, and the problem with this is that you can totally have an LMG guy who kind of does the recon deal, where he sits back on a med pack and pretty much never takes the amount of damage to kill him. So yes, there's going to be quite a lot of a struggle to balance out the classes in Battlefield 4, because as of right now, that seems to be really the last thing that needs to be done in Battlefield 4, along with pushing for objective teamwork, which they are doing right now. But all this doesn't really matter if no one is playing in a few months after Final Stand is released. And that's why I believe strictly that even if DICE doesn't decide to do 4 new maps remade for the community, that they should at least bring back No Shar. Now, I've been discussing this with a few other YouTubers trying to see how they personally felt about bringing in at least one map, and they said that this game really just needs something that sparks the community's interest. Because if you cannot create a inspirational map that everyone wants to play on in Final Stand, personally I didn't experience any No Shar Canals or Damavan Peak or even Operation Moments on the new Final Stand maps. They were alright, I will say, but they weren't terrific. They weren't like the next gen version of what I would call a classic. I don't like to say this, but Battlefield community is really dying. And DICE, if you want to bring them back, you have to do something terrific in their favor. From what I can tell, you do understand that the launch of Battlefield 4 has diminished your brand and you want to change things around. This is a perfect opportunity to do it. Listen to your community. COD is even doing it now. They're listening. Somewhat. May not make the best game, but they do try. And DICE, if you do that, I believe everyone will love you. You don't have to try hard to win people's hearts. All you have to do is do your job, do it well, don't cut corners, and just make the best game you can possibly make. Well, that is my time for today. I want to thank you guys so much for listening. Do you guys feel like there's something missing from Battlefield 4? I can't quite put my finger on it, but it doesn't really feel like the true sequel from Battlefield 3. Let me know, what do you think Battlefield 4 needs right now in the comment section below? Does it need more stuff like gold guns into Hardline? We'll talk about it on the next one. I'll see you guys later. Stay cried up.